Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new spoiler review of Secret Invasion 2. Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinnerberg. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings. I'll be back on my movie box office breakdown show. We'll be back this upcoming Monday for sure. So please subscribe, ring the bell. We're so close to 160 subscribers. Let's get there. Please subscribe, ring the bell. Comment down below. What are your thoughts so far on Secret Invasion? Did you like this episode? Did you not? What are your thoughts on the cliffhanger ending that this episode sets up? Also, please like the video, the thumbs up button. So, sorry guys, I've been out for basically a week now. But I'll be back on the grind. Something personal, I've had stuff come up the last couple of days. So now back fully committing to this channel, of course, which I do anyway. But sometimes, things come up and I couldn't post a video. So I'm back with another episode of the new spoiler review of episode 4 of 6 of Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. This show has become very mixed to me very suddenly. Now, I think the show is a lot more positive than it is negative, but I love the first 2 episodes, and I was really invested in the setup of the show. I think the show is continually just going downhill with episode 3. Now, even worse for me was episode 4. This was easily my least favorite episode. Now, when I saw the Disney Plus thing come up, it said 37 minutes, especially with Disney Plus. That's really... There's a lot of credits. It's really just 30 minutes if you don't count even close to 28, 30 minutes without the recap or without the credits. It's short. Now, for people who are like, these episodes are too short, I disagree with you, because I do feel like you can accomplish really compelling, again, 30-minute television. Again, I watch a lot of the shows like The Bear, Barry, even first season Ted Lasso. These episodes are 30, 35, 40 minutes long. But the way the MCU does their 30, 35-minute episodes are just rushed. And this episode just felt flat right from the start. Again, this episode's mostly just about Nick Fury and Priscilla. Once again, we obviously learn that Rhodey's officially a Skrull. Again, they don't explain in this episode when the switch was made from Rhodey to being a Skrull. I'm sure hopefully we get that down the line. But Rhodey's the one who's hiring actually Priscilla to kill Fury. And obviously Priscilla, the only, I think, like really good scene of the episode is this scene with Priscilla and Fury in their kitchen. And clearly Fury, listening to that conversation early in the episode with Skrull Rhodey and Priscilla, knowing that Priscilla's hired to kill her. They shoot, they miss. Obviously, she's obviously never going to kill him. And it was a really good scene where Skrull Priscilla explains her relationship with the human version of Priscilla and the promises that she made to the human version of Priscilla before she died. And I kind of like that. You see just a lot of Skrulls take just people's bodies, and I kind of really enjoyed from a world building point of view and from a story point of view that Priscilla as a Skrull did have a relationship with the human form that she took on. And I really liked that dynamic a lot. And I thought that added a lot more to the scene and a lot more to the Skrulls are, that they're just not taking just randomly people's bodies. I like that Priscilla's herself did use her own body. I really enjoyed that a lot. So that scene was good. But we also before this had a scene with Talos and Gaia. Gaia's only scene of this episode is we open up the episode with the cliffhanger. Did Gaia die? But if you've seen the trailers, Gaia is not dead. And she has Extremis firepower. For some reason, I forgot last week here on the channel. And they basically explained to you step by step that she basically also became a Super Skrull. Don't get how anyone didn't notice that she could just become a Super Skrull. The sound of the machine sounded pretty loud, but she escaped, I guess, and her and Gravik are now the only 2 known Super Skrulls right now running around in this show at the moment. Basically, she says, the only thing I want to do is not be with Gravik and be with you. But the difference between you, she's talking to Talos, is Gravik actually has a plan. Even if it might not be a good one, he has a plan. And, Talos is really passionate, really, about staying on Earth, that there isn't this other planet that they can just live on. There's a million of them, and he wants to show that the Skrulls aren't bad and that the Skrulls can coexist with humans. That's kind of Talos's goal. And be who we are, show the true skin, but also, live on Earth. And Gaia and Talos, I think, really need to meet and should have had just met in the middle, which is obviously for 30 years, there's been no even close to progress of Skrulls and humans coexisting, more or less even showing their own skin. I think Gaia's, though, is a little bit too mad. I guess there's a lot of good. It was an okay scene. And Gaia, for me, is one of the main characters of the show that I just haven't connected with. It's not Emilia Clarke's fault. It's just the character is just so hollow to me. And she's, for me, out of the main group of characters, she's definitely the least interesting character on the show of the main group of characters. And I think Gravik also has just become less and less interesting as the show has kind of just gone on. At first, and they introduced, especially in the first 2 episodes, Gravik seemed like a pretty interesting villain, but he's kind of just this stereotypical villain the last 2 episodes, which I wasn't just a big fan of. But as we keep on going in the episode, Rhodey obviously sets up that for Gravik to try to kidnap the president or kill the president, whatever, kidnap the president. So they can now, they're running so many other councils, now they can just run the United States. Fury and Talos are there for the save. Talos gets shot, and this scene where, Fury's trying to pick him up, and one of the military people's like, well, he's a Skrull, what are you doing? And then he, or he's an alien. And then Fury says he's with us. He has to leave Talos down to get the president in the car. And once he does, he turns around, sees the military person now has an arm around Talos, and he's not letting Talos go. We learned that is Gravik, and it looks like Gravik kills Talos. He stabs him that gunshot wound, leaves Gravik, and Fury does have to leave him to take the president. And for the 3rd of the 4th week on this show, we have a "is he dead?" ? Obviously, is this person dead? ? Because Hill definitely was dead. Gaia was not dead, and now we're leaving the question of, is Talos dead? So if this is truly Talos's death, this will be, for me, it just felt very anticlimactic. It just kind of like, oh, he's dead, and then they just kept going. And I just felt flat. Again, Talos was my favorite character in Captain Marvel. He's definitely my favorite character on his show. Again, I'm a big Ben Mendelsohn fan. And what's kind of made the show work is the chemistry between Fury and Talos. That's kind of been the key relationship that's been kind of keeping the show moving through these 4 weeks. And Talos dies in a way that's kind of like in an okay, like, it's not very, I don't need like a superhero saving someone's life type of death, but it was kind of just like, oh, he just died. I just didn't feel any emotional weight. And I should have, because he's my favorite part of the show, and everything that he's been in has been my favorite of that. Obviously, Captain Marvel and this, he's been the best part of both those projects for me, and as a character and as a performance. And I should have felt more. I think that's, again, if you felt really emotional with the death, I wish I was in your boat. For me, I just felt it was very anticlimactic to me, and we ended on another cliffhanger, and the episode itself just felt too quick. It just didn't feel like we sat in anything, and every time we have a death type scene, it has to be a cliffhanger. It can't just we sit with it. There just isn't any emotional depth, I think, in the show since the first 2 episodes. We didn't get Olivia Colman in this episode as well, which I think was worth of note. But I think the biggest problems with the show has been this Gravik has kind of been turning into stereotypical MCU villain the last 2 episodes, especially this episode. He just kind of shows up, blows up the president, trying to kill Talos. And while Gravik has a plan, we've known the plan from episode 1. They just haven't gone beyond his plan from a character point of view. I like the stuff this episode with Priscilla and Fury. I think that really did work, and their scenes together, both in 2012, that flashback scene and their dining room scene, were easily the best scenes of the episode. Gaia, for me, just needs a lot more invested in her. She just isn't in the episodes enough to seem as important as she is. And if this is truly Talos' death, I think this will be a very underwhelming death. So I'm hoping that Ben Mendelsohn and Talos are not done of the MCU, or not done in the show. But for me, this show is going in the wrong direction. I think it started off really strong, but I'm liking the show less and less now each week for episodes 3 and 4. So again, we only have, shockingly, just 2 more episodes of the show left. So we'll see what happens in the final 2 weeks. Also coming out today on this channel, I'll also be doing, that will wrap up my Secret Invasion spoiler review of episode 4. I'll be back every Wednesday now with 2 more weeks of more Secret Invasion talk. I'll see you guys soon.